I see. Yeah, and I just wanted to know that I'm heading down to Puerto Rico, as you know from my previous email.
Right.
How far am I from your property? Hopefully not far.
What location are you gonna be in?
I sent you the flyer. I mean, I
Oh,
can.
okay. That flyer that you sent me, Puerto Rico,
Yeah.
April 8th through the 9th. Okay, that's the one you're referring to. Okay, I got that.
Yeah.
Where will you be though? What location are you in over those dates? Does it say here? Um,
Yeah, it does on the flyer. Let me
is
pull
there
it
a
up.
hotel? Let's see. Because there was a lot of info here. Power up. Oh, the Sheraton, Puerto Rico. Yeah, you're 5 minutes from my hotel.
Oh, cool. Two
The
thumbs up.
Sheraton is the convention center property. So
Okay.
it's right next to the convention district. It's not in the, let's say it's not a beach property. It's more like a convention district and convention center property, but it's literally across the way from us. Yeah, about 5 minutes cab ride.
So should I do my advance visit on the 5th when I come there and stay over your property for a day or two before
Well,
the con?
I would need to check the thing with this time frame, this close to the arrival date, as we have it, is Keith that the hotel has a lot of commitments right now. I would need to check
Okay.
if we have space available,
Yeah.
because it's not just about staying at the hotel, it's also about being able to review and look at the space that I'm proposing. So
Okay.
I gotta check. If you give me a quick second here, if you bear with me a second while I fudge here with my computer, would you mind?
No, no problem.
I wanna maybe take
Hey,
a quick
Peter.
look. Pardon? Oh, Peter's
No,
on?
Peter's joining. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Let me just
Yeah,
look.
I'm on here. I'm at Staples, so I have you on mute, but I'm here listening.
Oh, good. Hi, Peter. How are you? It's a pleasure meeting you.
I'm glad. Great to hear from you, Edgar. Hey, hey, Keith.
Likewise, sir.
How
Likewise.
you doing, bro?
So we were having some initial discussion here while you joined us. Let me just pull up something here. If you bear with me a quick second, I'm fudging with my computer. I don't mean to drive you guys crazy, but the 5th and 6th. Because I think we're going to be really crazy that week. Or maybe not. Hold on. It's popping up. Here we go. Yeah, see, the 5th and 6th and 7th we've got most of the space under use, but I want to get to the location which I have for you, which is Las Olas. Las Olas appears to be available, which is the location I have. See, when it's not green, this
Okay.
means that
Yeah.
on the 5th and the 6th, we should be able to show you the space. I would need to recruit help from somebody at the property level,
Okay.
just because I don't always travel for all the sites. I'm traveling
Yeah.
for one next week, but I hate to sound like we're penny pinching, but we have only a certain amount of budget for me to travel every month. So, but I'll take care of that. On a separate note, I'll reach out to the hotel and my director of sales to see if somebody maybe can walk you around and
Yeah.
figure that. But I would need to check availability because
Who
again,
did you meet with, Peter? Giovanni?
Giovanna is yeah, Giovanna was the initial capturing manager because she handles small meetings, and the specs that she was provided called for a smaller amount of rooms. So she was involved, but when we realized it seems to be much bigger, right? We're talking about 150 rooms or so.
Yeah.
150 rooms. So that was then transmitted to me. Uh, the I'll ask her to see if she's maybe available and can lend a hand on that day to show you Las Olas.
Okay.
Again, my only challenge may be with occupancy for guest rooms, because if you see all this is all blocks that we have, plus and these are groups of meetings, and we have to look at availability first and see what we can do about perhaps a room. So if you bear with me, I'll look at that post call. If you can firm up those travel days for me, and then speak up to Joanna to see if she can help out with that. How's that
Okay.
sound?
Yeah, it sounds great. I mean, killing two birds, if not three, with one stone, right?
Of course, of
Because
course.
I definitely wanted to.
Do you have some travel dates already firmed up, Keith?
Yeah, I mean, it would be the 5th to, and then the conference starts the 8th, right? Or 7th.
Yes, I see here the 8th on your,
Okay.
let's see,
So it would be
8th or
5th,
9th.
yeah, 5th, 6th, and 7th, right?
Okay, more than likely, she would perhaps be available. I'll check with her, maybe the 7th or the 8th, because the office isn't typically open on weekends.
Okay.
Would that work for you?
Yeah, we should do it the 7th because I'm gonna be full concentrated on getting over to the Sheraton and doing conference, but I did want to use the opportunity to have some time, and I'm glad it's only 5 minutes away.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we'll work it out. Yeah, for the 5th to the 7th. Okay, so let's dive
Keith,
into.
so Keith, really quick, what are the proposed date again that you're doing?
For the program, I locked in
I mean,
some
what day of the
dates.
week is it? Monday through Tuesday, Wednesday? What's the start date?
Are we speaking of the program dates or what we were just talking about, Peter?
The program dates.
Program dates. Okay. So the program dates, as I shared them with Keith, based on the information I was given, we would start arriving on Monday the 13th, departing on Wednesday the 15th of October. If I gather right,
Yeah,
that was the info.
how does that fall into the 14th to the 16th?
The 13th is a Monday. The 14th is a Tuesday, and then the 15th is a Wednesday. So you basically, in the proposal I sent you, have one reception on Monday for the arrival, and then on Tuesday and Wednesday, you have basically breakfast, meeting, a lunch, PM break for 150. And the same thing repeats itself on Wednesday. Breakfast, meeting, lunch, and PM break for 150.
Okay.
So
And
Keith, this is my suggestion on the dates really quick, and I apologize. I mean, I have a little bit of lag if I interrupt.
Sure.
Is that, you think about Puerto Rico, right? If you got people who are going out there, they're going to try to make this event as much as possible as tying it into a vacation.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do a Monday, right, then people are going to look at it as, am I going to get the same rates if I get down a Saturday and Sunday? So then I could stay there Monday, Tuesday, and then, because again, remember, what's going on with the federal government, right, in regards to cards and
Sure.
travel. So, you got to think about, okay, how do I make it a vacation as well as a backup? So that's
Okay,
where,
so
if any of your pricing, if it's going to be attractive, it should be something that someone could just say, okay, well, I'm going to go to Puerto Rico at the same time. I get there Saturday. I enjoy Puerto Rico Saturday, Sunday, right? And I go to the conference on Monday, Tuesday. I leave Wednesday.
yeah, sure. So we're actually delving into territory that would be more relevant to when we start having discussions about a contract, which I could draft for you folks to review. But to kind of give you a gist of that, Peter, we do offer rates based on availability for the room category that we quote, okay? 2 days before and 2 days after.
Okay.
This is, and mind you, that's the caveat here, based on availability. Why do I say that? Because the only way I can fully guarantee that rooms will be available with no restrictions, availability in this case is the restriction, is if you include those rooms as part of the contracted block 2 days before or 2 days after, which I'm presuming you may not want to do because you have no assurance that these people are going to, or the amount of people that would maybe want to stay 2 days before or 2 days after. So essentially, I guess what I'm saying here is because every contract has performance, right? A performance percentage that needs to be met. And again, you'll see that you'll understand all these comments when you see our contract. Basically, every contract has a performance caveat. So basically what I'm saying is that the hotel will expect you to pick up at least 80% of these rooms that are contracted of the 150. So because you do have a performance criteria in the contract, we need to ensure that you're not over committing yourselves. So
In other
the
words,
option here is
based on a number that Keith has told you, whatever that block is,
150
if it is a
rooms.
performance measure of 80%, then you would want
Correct.
80% of the contracted rate up
Correct.
front.
Correct. So you're basically off the hook for that 20. In other words, of the 100, just to make it really simple, of the 150 rooms, you're only required to pick up. Hold on. I'm terrible at math. I got to do this. I got to do this with a calculator. Of the 150 rooms that you are
It's
required to
120
make, you're
rooms.
only required
120.
to pick up 120. So you're off the hook for 30 rooms in that block,
So what
which you
percentage
have
is that?
no penalty for. But that's based on those dates that you're contracting, namely, in this case, and that's all in the proposal I sent, Keith, the rooms that I'm holding on Monday and Tuesday. So anything on the front end and back end, we can do. We can look at availability, and if people request it,
And
as
Keith,
they start reserving.
I think you're working your way up and working your way down. I mean, 150, that's why I think we got into this conversation with Edgar Ortiz, because I was thinking you were going to work your way up. And that's why I started with 50. So I think that when you get the number 150, that moved us to Edgar, but I think that with doing that, you have to also consider, I mean, 150 is a lot.
Hey,
I mean, that's not a small event.
Peter, based upon the feedback that I've gotten already, I'm real good, bro. I'm so good. Listen, I'm being very intentional. There's not, as they're going to be reasonable, we're going to be fine. What I want to do is create an experience now, and that comes with all kinds of innovation that we know how to do from a marketing perspective. And so, for example, if you're saying we have an opportunity, and it does make sense to me for sure, because I'm doing it. Like, we're doing our event on a Monday, Tuesday, that's work, right? But if we can offer a good package pricing, that if they want to come Friday, then Edgar, I want to be able to, on our website, offer that. You see? Okay. And how that gets structured.
We could come up with a whole ways of, I think it's good. We could come up with a whole ways to fill it in, make those dates worthwhile. If we have the idea, if we're just trying to make this a little mini vacation before you get to work on Monday, we could theme it out easily. But for now, for the sake of a contract, right, and you having to commit to a certain amount of rooms and coming up with, I'm assuming that's going to be a deposit or whatever the form of that commitment is going to be, right? Then you're starting off with a big number. I mean,
well, I
could it
don't
be
know.
75 and work your way up
numbers
as we get closer to the event, and we open up ticket sales and we see how ticket sales are going, right? And we push for early registration early. Let's say from now until June will be pre-registration. We give it till June to see how it's going as we get closer to, November. But you got to start off. Otherwise, you're going to have a big commitment up front.
Yeah.
Is that, can we work our way the opposite way?
Gentlemen, and I'll leave those discussions later to you both. I don't want to be an impediment to your intelligent discussion about the knowledge that you have for your program and how you want to manage it. But what I would recommend here is, I mean, again, you're only required to pick up whatever that amount is finally that you do agree on, 80%. So right now you're not really on the hook for 150. You're only on the hook for 120 of those rooms. So there's a good buffer there, What I would recommend, again, because you don't have any assurance or the pre or post days, is that we look at that. The contract will spell it out that you have availability 2 days before and 2 days after the main program dates, and when people call in or when they start making the reservations online, we have a system. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. It's called Passkey. So they can
Yes,
go
that's
on
very so.
Passkey directly. We give them a code and they can book their reservations. And with that, they just make a determination. We'll start monitoring the pickups and telling you how the reservations are going. But that's one thing versus committing to rooms on the front or back end, because then that goes right into your performance. And I want to avoid you having to overcommit to something you have no control over. So
Right.
I would rather just let them make the reservations. And if we have the availability, mind you, that's the caveat. We can't guarantee those pre or post days will be there when they make the reservations. The earlier, what's my guesstimate? If the earlier they make the reservations, the better, because then if they make them early, we may have availability. But if they book reservations 2 weeks before the actual travel dates, we may no longer have availability for those early
Yeah.
arrivals and late stayovers. Am
So
I making
Edgar,
sense?
yeah, Edgar, let me just synopsize because this is what I've heard.
Sure.
We literally have the opportunity to utilize the attraction of Puerto Rico and the hotel,
Yes.
all of its amenities,
Mm-hmm.
minimum of 2 days before the conference.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to work with you and our marketing team on what that looks like on our platform
Mm-hmm.
and our social media,
Mm-hmm.
because it won't be a hard sell.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be more like, oh, look at what they're offering and making available to us.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, I just want to know, one, the number, and two, how that works. And through automation and through however your codes work, we just
Mm-hmm.
want to be able to advertise it, because the advertising alone
Mm-hmm.
literally, I think, creates the thought process, the thinking process, right?
Yeah.
Of, hey, maybe we should and could do this. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good, Peter. With that, I don't see it. And
I think once we again solidify the date, once we solidify the days before, once we ultimately need what the cost is. Ultimately, as you know, Edgar, we need to know what the cost is for facility usage for those 2 days, Monday, Tuesday, if we're doing anything Wednesday, so we could come up with a per person rate, a per person cost. We come up with a per person cost, we could justify our ticket price, right? And then once we have that, then we do that. Then of course the branding comes with it. Creating a one page, sell sheet comes along after that. But first we need to get the most important pieces. What is the numbers? How do we develop our cost per person? So
Right.
we
Right.
got to
Right. No,
develop that.
totally. I understand perfectly. I'll the way
What
we
cost does Keith need in order to develop that so we could
right.
have
Right.
ticket prices now, so then we could get them to reserve, and then once they reserve or buy tickets, then we could send the key to then we could send your passport or the pass key, out to them so they can make the reservation, or however
Right.
we do it, or
Right.
at
This
least
is
book the reservation now, right, before they buy the ticket.
Right. This is how we can go about the process, and I'll draft that if you guys want. I can definitely put together something. I can put together an estimate. The estimate will be a global estimate, however, because remember, we're talking. The contract doesn't go out with per person rates. It goes out with a full revenue amount based on the rooms contracted, which includes all the
Right.
tips, taxes, gratuities, and then the food and beverage, which I've already laid out in the proposal for Keith as well. And that will give you an overall idea of the cost factor for the conference as we stand. This is
That's just the conference side, and then the room
correct.
side
It's
is something else different.
you will see it as part of the estimate because the estimate gives
Okay.
you
Peter, I wasn't able to open that to the point where I'd like this to be an opportunity for him to walk through this proposal with us.
Yeah, but I mean, what they sent us is just, what the amenities are, overall program package, right? What we need is all the
No
other stuff
price.
in
There was no
between, like the
pricing on
cost,
there,
like,
Edgar.
what's
pardon?
that?
I don't think that there was a pricing on it,
There
right?
There
was no
is, there
pricing on any
is.
of the documentation that was sent.
No, yeah.
Did you open the link?
Yeah, we opened the Dropbox link, yes, and we also opened up the link to the proposal as well, but it didn't have any numbers of what the cost was based on like what the AV cost was, anything like. I didn't see that.
Well, I can let me pull this up again because the actual proposal. If forgive me if I sound like I'm contesting what you're saying, but the proposal did include um, all sorts of pricing that was part of what we shared.
Okay,
But
can you send it? Can you resend it again while you have Keith on so he can look at it and you guys can just confirm that there's numbers on there, so
sure,
then he can easily determine what that cost per person is
if you bear
once he
with me
gives it
for
to
a
the rest of the
second,
team.
I'm trying to find the actual document,
Okay.
and I will try to send it again.
Yeah, show it on your screen and then send it to Keith so he knows what that pricing information
Can
is.
you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this was the original proposal as we shared it, with the actual dates where
Yeah,
I
I
shared.
couldn't open that. Yeah,
Pardon?
I couldn't open that.
I think I sent it as an attachment, a PDF, Keith. Maybe you didn't see it somewhere, but
Yeah.
I sent it through the link and I also sent it as an attachment. But I'll send it again to both you and Peter, if it's okay. Once we finish the conference call.
Yeah,
What
it means
what
certainly.
is your email address, Peter?
Peter at brand BRAND Echo ECHO media MEDIA.com.
Okay, so it's Peter at brand echo ECHO media.com. Is that right?
That's correct.
Wonderful. I'll send it to both you and Keith as soon as we finish the call. But let's walk through this basically so you can get at least a sense
Yeah.
of what I shared. So
Are you able
essentially,
to increase your screen just a little, or?
let me see if I can make it
So Keith,
bigger.
Keith, I have to log off really quick, but can you just make sure when you look at that this has all the pricing you need, like for everything that you want from Monday to Tuesday, your conference costs? Make sure it has all of, and I don't know if you chose food already, but Edgar, this is what you're saying has all the costs already, right? So they've already
Yes.
chosen like what they need for
No, that would
space.
come, Peter, that would come after we finalize contracting. The contracting phase basically establishes a minimum F&B the hotel will require. You would sit down and start discussing food and beverage and menus with event services, but that happens after we contract the program. What I can do is give you a guesstimate based on the cost per person and the functions you share with me
Okay.
in the schedule, and that's already also there. So, but let me just run you through the space. I mean, are you gonna log off the call, Peter, or
Yeah, I
should
have to
I?
run. Yeah,
Okay,
I'm actually on the road and I got to get back on the road
okay,
or don't meet my next appointment. That's why I can't stay on. But I just
okay.
want to make sure that we end this with meeting and making sure you give Keith the things that he needs to be able to ultimately, for us to basically ultimately determine what that is, because that's the most important part of this whole thing.
Right.
And the
Well,
most
I will
attractive part
prepare
is the
as I mentioned,
cost.
I will prepare a separate estimate that will give you the overall pricing in a more concrete fashion, so you can see numbers
Okay.
and discussions can start from there. And from that estimate, I draw the contract that you would have specific details about what, when, and where. You know.
Yeah,
Would
and
you agree,
Peter,
Keith, that the easier way to get you this is to be able to give you those costs on a per person rate so we could develop the more important thing. The most important thing is the selling price.
I will attempt to calculate that in addition
Okay.
to the estimate, so Keith has an idea of what the overall cost will be. But remember,
Okay, cool.
um, pardon?
no, he said
Hello?
cool. Yeah, he
Oh,
said
okay,
cool.
sorry.
That's awesome.
So,
Thank you
but
so much, Edgar.
oh no, my pleasure, Peter.
Yeah,
All
and
right, cool.
Peter,
Well, Keith, it sounds like you're in
this
good
is
hands.
recorded. This is recorded, so Manpreet will make sure Melvin sends it over, right?
Yeah, Jessica, Melvin needs to know AV stuff and all the other good stuff as well. As long as you've incorporated all that together and we get that magic number, then yeah, the next step is just ticket price, putting the package together, selling the conference, and then getting a estimated ticket price, and then getting people to start reservations with the passport, the pass key, and then registering for the event. All right,
And
cool.
yeah, all right. And I think that there's a period of time where there's no ticket price, but after a certain point, right? Yeah, we could talk about that.
We just gotta start pushing it to get those pre-reservations right away, because people
I
are gonna
hear you.
start want to book now, because we're gonna start giving them a sense of urgency and start doing things like, okay, pre-ticket sales starting from now until June 1st. Get ready to go to Puerto Rico.
Oh, I see.
Ilan Encantado, yada yada PR Summit, IOZ 2025. Check us out in San Juan, Puerto Rico, staying at the Caribe Hilton. And that's when you throw in your packages. Hey, come early, come Saturday, Sunday, enjoy this, that. And then on Monday, Tuesday, you're gonna come and enjoy you're gonna get this with this package for an additional so and so. Stay from Saturday to Wednesday, or from Monday till Friday, and enjoy a whole week in Puerto Rico.
Okay. I don't know about that Monday to Friday, but
Well, I
okay.
mean, I'm just saying, but like Edgar said, that it's options. I mean, you got 2 days before, 2 days after, so
Well, that is
they're gonna
true.
choose what's best, as long as if they can make it Monday, great. If they want to say 2 additional days and not have any festivities, but if they want to come before and you have these festivities,
That's
even better.
true. And Edgar, maybe if we're drumming up the business like that, there's some, additional discounts off of the total after we get to a certain number or something. All that's what I meant about being innovative and we're early in the game, but we're in the game, about ready to get in the game here. So, all right, Peter, thanks for being on, and I look forward now, Edgar, for you and I to focus with Manpreet on walking through this.
Okay. So
All right,
no
sounds
worries.
good. Let me know the follow-up meeting. Talk to you guys soon.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm resending the attached proposal that was supplied as a PDF. I sent it as a PDF so you could see it too.
Can you
But I went ahead and resent it.
Can you copy Manpreet on this?
Yes. Let's see. I have you, Peter Vasquez, Jose Nino. That's what I will.
Manpreet.
What is the email for that? For
It's
Manpreet?
Edgar. It's M Hundal, HUN.
I'm sorry, I lost you for a second there, Manpreet.
No, it's M Hundal, HUN. DAL.
DAL. Oh,
Yep.
there we go. It popped. I have it. It popped up. I don't know why. Maybe I wasn't finding it. My apologies, Manpreet. Okay, so I just resent it. You should have it as a PDF. So hopefully that makes it a little easier to navigate through it.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's have several tabs open. My apologies. Trying to make this a little more clear so you can read it. Can you see the document?
I can, yes.
Okay. So essentially, the proposal started again, as I was mentioning, with the dates of October 13th through the 15th of this year. And I'm basically sharing proposed rates for staff and what we call run of the house rooms for a total of 150 rooms. The group rate would be of $290, single or double per night. The staff rate would be of $232. We do have a daily resort fee that the hotel imposes for several items that are offered: basic Wi-Fi, fitness center, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I won't bore you with those details, but they're all right there. There are some gratuities, and all of this will be spelled out in numbers in the form of that estimate that I mentioned, Keith, that I'll send you. But basically, there are porterage charges per person and room attendant charges per person. And basically, these are required because we are a union facility, so they're governed by our CBA, and Portage Bellman basically provide the service, an in-out charge for services, and room attendants are basically the maids. So it's $6.38 per person, one time for porterage, and 50 cents daily for maid per person as well. That's the general gist of the charges that you will see as I prepare that proposal, that estimate for you folks. You then have the function. So basically, the area that I'm proposing is called Las Olas and Olas Terras throughout the function time frame. And this is one of the key, in my opinion, key selling aspects of that hotel, because it does provide a really wow factor. You were talking about how do we impress these people? How do we really make it special? Las Olas is that one signature room. I was about to show you the area, but we'll get back to that. Let me just go through the items on the proposal, and then I'll go back to the presentation I was showing you on the meeting and function space and public spaces. So you're going through pretty much a very unique location. Las Olas is kind of a mini ballroom. It's a ballroom that sits a good 200 attendees with very high ceilings, natural light. And then you have a terrace outside called Olas Terras, which has an awning, a windbreaker, and overlooks the Atlantic Ocean. So it's not your, how can I say, it's not your typical meeting room dungeon where you have 4 walls and doors, you know? It's a beautiful signature room that the hotel utilizes.
You're going to show us on the...
Oh, absolutely. I'll show you that in a minute. What concessions were we offering? Well, obviously, we're offering a discounted room rate. I would encourage you to go online and check rates for this time frame, so you can see what the hotel proposes as standard best available rates for this time frame. These are group discounted rates. Pardon me?
Tell us what they generally are.
I would need to look at the webpage. I don't want to open too many things because it's going to confuse you. But if you look at the actual Caribe Hilton official webpage, you'll see rates that probably easily exceed over 350, maybe more. This is the fall period, so it is the pre-fall, beginning of the high demand period. So we're offering that discounted rate. We're offering 1 room per every 40 on a comp ratio. So if you look at the full amount of your contracted rooms, 150 between the 1 per 40, you have 4 rooms that are complimentary, that are not charged under the master or any rate. So you can assign these to either staff or maybe VIPs if you have any speakers. You guys can make the call on that. I'll let you make the call on that.
In addition to the ones that you have listed there.
Correct. So in addition to these staff rates, these 2 staff room rates, you have an additional 4 rooms that would be offered as comp rooms. And you can assign those at your leisure to whomever you determine, okay? We, of course, spoke about the 80% sleeping room performance. We have already spoken about the staff rooms. We're also offering complimentary wireless internet in all the guest rooms. And by the way, I should have added that also the meeting space. So there is no actual charge for wireless. We offer 10 MSVPs of shared bandwidth, both in the guest rooms and the meeting space. So this type of bandwidth is good for, let's say, checking the internet, looking at emails, doing your daily transactions via the internet, of course. If you need streaming, if you need specifically a dedicated line or something, that definitely does involve a charge because we have to outsource it. But if we're talking about basic Wi-Fi, we're offering that at no charge. We also offer 15% discount via Encore, and I will send you the AV costs. I do have a price sheet for Encore services. Encore is our, formerly PSAV, is our official Wi-Fi provider. So I will send you that. Offering also the meeting space at no charge, no rental fees of any sort, as long as we consume $45,000 total in food and beverage consumption and that 80% rooms performance. Why do I plug in the 80 rooms percent performance? Because if your attendance drops below 80, you probably won't be able to hit the $45,000 unless you upgrade menus and choose something. But that's a different conversation to be had later on with event services once you're in the process of planning the event. I am also offering double Hilton Honors points for the contract signer. So there is typically one honors point per every dollar spent in guest room, eligible guest rooms. But in this case, we're offering double for whomever signs the contract. And I needed to ask you, who would be signing that contract, Keith?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, you would? Okay, so those points will...
And I would want you to go and see what kind of points I have now.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's done by the fulfillment center. We don't have access to those numbers specifically, but you would be credited the points immediately.
Either, you know, I or Joan. I don't know. Joan, I think, signed things before, but okay.
So you can tell me if you want that, because I'll be drafting the contract.
I want the points, but she can sign.
Okay. Oh, no, that's fine. I mean, the contract can have a signer and can have a person designated as a bearer of the points. That's the info I need to draft the contract. Who would be? But you don't need to answer now. If you don't know yet, you can tell me later. But once I draft the contract, we can have the signer as somebody entirely different, and then you as the bearer. That all goes in the actual document. Okay. And then, of course, I looked at other things that the hotel has, because I figured you would want to hype this up, you know, as we were having the discussion, and Peter mentioned that he wanted to hype the hotel, and this is really good info that really tells you all the hotel has, all that the property can offer from the standpoint of what we offer as services. So that's all via email. You have it in your inbox, so does Peter. And of course, I just included also information.
Okay.
Okay, so let's look at the location. I want to show you the location. If you bear with me a quick second, let me close this tab. Okay. Got to close all this because I'll get confused otherwise. Okay, so here we were. So when we look at the hotel, what you're seeing here is basically the whole peninsula we're located in, just to give you a bearing. We do have a private beach. The beach area for our hotel is private because it's on hotel premises. This is protected by a man-made reef. So this beach is really a haven. It's a beautiful, pristine beach that offers you great relaxation. We also have an infinity pool complex. It's a pool in 3 levels with even a kids pool. You mentioned the component families, maybe coming a day or 2 early if they want to come in with the kids. There's a lot of things for kids and families to do. We are not a hotel that's notoriously known for a casino. We don't have a casino, but that actually works in favor of programs like yours, because the whole boondoggle concern with casinos can create issues. So that is I think is a plus in terms of what we offer. So the beach area is fairly large. We have a hammock area, we have a beach area, and private spaces, and even a place called La Islita, which is a circular deck that is surrounded by water with cushions, so people like literally sit there in their lounges around this circular space. That was just to give you a bearing. The entrance of the hotel is right here, where we have a big lobby. And then central to the lobby, on the lower level, we have all the major facilities. So we have Cari Bar, which is our lobby bar, which overlooks the beach. God bless you. We have several restaurants. I won't bore you with too many details about that. But then just one level up from this, okay, which is right over Néctar del Caribe, is where we have Las Olas. So picture this as just ground level Néctar, second level Las Olas, right on top of it. And this is Las Olas. I love this particular room for many reasons.
What does the Las Salas look like?
This is Las Olas. Can you see it?
Yeah.
So this is a mini ballroom style setup. It's a large hall, and it houses doors that exit right outside into a terrace. So it does have a terrace with an awning overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. This room has a lot of natural light. In addition to all the light fixtures, of course, you will notice probably there's light coming from different vantage points on the northwestern side of the room. The entrance is through this area, but there's also an access point through the outside right into the terrace that's behind this wall. Am I giving you a good perspective there, or am I confusing you?
No, I mean, I get it. Yeah. I travel
Wonderful.
enough to appreciate it. It reminds me a little bit of the hotel in Orlando, where you are, right?
The Lake Buena Vista Palace, the Hilton
Yeah.
Orlando.
Isn't that? Yeah, it's the one where near the
Convention Center.
NASA. Yeah, the aerospace.
Oh, no. That would be a different location. That's Cape Canaveral. Yeah, but it might be a property that we have there. Oh, okay. Maybe you're speaking about the former. Oh my goodness, I forget the name. I know which property you're talking about. Yes.
But it's no beach there. Of course, it's got a nice pool.
Yeah. Well, we do have a beach. In fact, as you walk through these doors, this one door here and there's another door here. You don't see it in the angle of the photo, but actually, this area here, if you look at the bottom, this photo on the right side, the picture is from the door facing inward into the room. So there's two sets of doors exiting to the outdoor terrace. It's really a lovely spot, you know? And this kind of gives you a perspective too of the area. So this is Las Olas, the two sets of doors, Olas Terrace outside, and we have the pool, infinity pool, and the ocean right here. So in a nutshell, I don't think you're gonna be disappointed. This is not your typical, as I said, dungeon. You know, you go to a lot of hotels for this amount of people, they'll place you in a, I hate to use that word, they'll place you in a dungeon because it's not a small group, it's not a huge group, it's like a middle size, and very few hotels have a room like this that's so unique to fit this amount of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think you'll be quite pleased with the space.
Well, you have there's a bar restaurant that walks out into the patio. I will see it on our slides because
no, those definitely. Well, this gives you a 3-level. Again, I didn't want to show you this because this can get confusing because it's a multi-level view of the hotel. So you have Las Olas, you see the very top? Olas Terrace, you see that on the left-hand side?
Yeah.
And remember I mentioned it's right on top of Néctar? That's the elevation. So you have the ground floor, second floor, Las Olas right on top of Néctar. But we have 7 restaurants on site. We have a Morton Steakhouse. We have Néctar del Caribe, which serves breakfast. We have a Lola's restaurant. We have Rustica. We have Oceans, which is right here. It used to be Mojitos. It's now just reopened as a new restaurant called Oceans. We have a lot of restaurants. We have a Starbucks restaurant on site, which serves breakfast and obviously has coffee and, you know, like most Starbucks. There's plenty of restaurants on site, and not to be lazy about it, right across the lobby, if you keep walking past the lobby and you walk all the way past the lobby into the multi-level parking, which you can't see here, you have a place called Gran Salón Rosales. On that lower level, we have a place called Paseo Caribe, which houses El Fogo de Chao, houses shops, houses additional retail space, and it's
Okay.
walking distance from the lobby. So there's a lot. There's a spa facility. Again, I'm trying to tap here on the component that Peter mentioned, families. There's a spa which offers all sorts of services, 16 treatment rooms, and they give you a 15% discount on selected daily services that they offer. We have a fitness center. We have 4 tennis courts, lighted for night play. They want to play at night and during the day. So there won't be a lack of things for them to do. This is a resort. It just so happens to be in a really unique location.
And a basketball court for Manpreet's kids.
Correct. Does she
You
like
do
playing
have
basketball?
Yeah, they used to call me a shotgun. Yeah, but
Well, the beach area actually even has the beach area even has a like a lawn volleyball court right next to what we call San Cristobal Gazebo right here. So you'll see a volleyball court. So you can think about the variety of things you can do there. So if one of them, if one of the attendees or a group of the attendees want to play, do a little volleyball tournament, there you go. All we need to do is coordinate it through event services. They'll put it together for you and set up the location. And
your golf course is 45 minutes away, though, right?
Yes, most of the golf courses are a drive because they're in different locations. But again, a drive is 45 minutes. It's not.
Well,
and
do you have shuttle?
We don't offer shuttles. No hotel in San Juan, unfortunately, can do that, Keith, because we have an arrangement through the government of Puerto Rico. The Taxi Turístico system operates flat rates back and forth from the airport for transfers. They're flat fees, but there's Uber and there's Lyft in San Juan too. So if they want to get back and forth, they can do Uber or Lyft as well, in addition to taxis.
Okay. So I don't have any real questions except for, you mentioned, like I did a little calculation, like for example, 45,000, where that number's coming from, and 100 rooms, that's like 450 per person. I mean, how are we calculating this? I mean, we haven't talked about, you know, we've done this before, open bar or how that's working. So are you sending a price list?
Yes,
you know,
I will send you a price list, but I would encourage you to save that price list.
Tickets, yeah.
I would encourage you to save that price list as a guide when you start selecting your menus, because you're not gonna probably be able to select menus upon contracting. You want to maybe sit with my event services team so they can guide you through different options of what's available menu wise. They're the experts in that field. What I can work with the $45,000 because remember, they relate to using that particular space, which is Las Olas, basically for 2 days. So if you divide $45,000 in 2 days, that's $2,200. And if you divide that by 150 attendees, that's $150 a day. That's basically breakfast, lunch, breaks. It's close to that amount.
Let me make sure, because you said 2,200 and it's 22,000 divided.
Yes, I stand corrected. It is $22,000. Yes,
divided by
about $22,500. My apologies. I'm thinking Spanish sometimes, but essentially it's $150 daily for breakfast, lunch, and breaks.
And the rooms, I don't remember. I think, you know what? Now I understand, because I'm thinking those rooms are on us, but they're not.
No, they're on individual attendees as they book their reservations.
Got it.
They would, again, that's why I said we're jumping ahead into matter that's relevant to a contract. Once you see my contract, you will have a much better understanding of what I'm speaking about.
Got it.
I'll be happy
Okay.
to draft a contract. If you give me a chance, I'll not just put together an estimate, but put together a contract that you can review, and that will answer a lot of those, things that are on your mind right now with regards to what we're talking about,
Yeah. And then there's one other thing. Hold on. Okay. So do you have a suite for, the host that's doing this? That's could be made available?
I can look at a junior suite for those dates in particular, if you like. And typically, the junior suites go for the best available suite rate. We can offer 20% discount for that junior suite. Give me a chance to review the pricing for that.
Yeah. Maybe
And
we can do
I'll
something
tell
even
you
better.
what that looks like.
How many people does that fit?
Junior suites have a king bed. It's a one open space plan, and it does have a pull-out sofa bed.
No, but I mean for entertainment, like.
Oh no, if you need a suite for entertainment purposes, then we have to. How many people are you anticipating?
30.
Wow, that's we're talking one of the larger premium suites in the tower. For 30 attendees, you would be speaking about probably the presidential suite or the governor's suite. There is a higher sticker price for those. I can still give you the 20% discount and check, but let me just check what's available and I'll give you the pricing and let you make the decision of.
Well, we have a chance, hopefully in the next few weeks to actually take these questions and be able to walk around and look at it. So that's the benefit here that I look forward to trying to coordinate.
Sure. So I'll draft
Okay.
that estimate
And,
first and I'll send it to you if you don't mind. Maybe have you get a better sense of where we are. And then if you bear with me, I'm kind of out a good portion of the latter part of this week and half of next week. I'll be traveling. I would ask if you can be patient with me and give me until perhaps the first week of April. I know you want to go there on the 5th. I'm sorry, on the 7th to look at the hotel.
yeah,
So
5th to the 7th. 5th to the 7th.
Right, but again, what I was saying is probably to get Giovanna involved, I need to ask her to do this on that Monday, the 7th. Is that okay with you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
okay,
That's,
wonderful. So what I'll do is, for timeline purposes, allow me until perhaps the 1st to put together the contract draft, although I will send you the estimate before that so you can start looking at numbers. And then I'll reach out to Gio and see if she's available on that day to walk you through that. That works.
okay. Sounds good.
Have I missed anything? Would you like me to
No,
maybe add any other
it's
information?
I'm just happy that I think we're started earlier this year than last,
Mhm.
and I feel like we got the wind behind us. If you could predict the weather, give us the greatest weather, and push the button for that great weather and guarantee it, then that's all I could ask for.
Well, I will pray to Papa God there up there to see what he can do, but no, I say that laughingly. It's like Puerto Rico hasn't had last year hasn't had any major hurricane occurrences. And what's really ironic about it all, I live here in Orlando, and the month of October brought us 2 hurricanes to the Florida Panhandle and Orlando area. So I left Puerto Rico and I am getting a lot more bombarded by hurricanes since I moved here in 2012 than I have ever been in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, wow. Well, you also had snow, as I heard, in Florida, but who knows?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Oh, okay, Edgar. Thank you very much for all of this
Oh, no, it's been my
presentation.
pleasure, really. I appreciate the time to help you through these. So I'll send a few things ahead of time, the menus, the Encore AV pricing and that estimate, and then I'll put that draft together for you the first week of April.
Okay, thank you.
You-
And we'll talk between now and then by email at minimum to make sure that I actually, whatever the modality of being able to set the 5th to the 7th up, can you get back with me on confirmation on that? And
Yeah,
then-
I'll speak to Gio before the end of the week to see if we can arrange for that.
All right, cool. Thank you so much. All right,
Appreciate your time, sir, as always.
All right.
Yeah.
Hasta
Have a
luego.
Thank
good
you
one.
so much. Bye, Keith.
Pleasure talking to you both.